Welcome, race fans. You're watching NAVSCAR Pro Series. We are at race number 7 in the 3rd series of the year. We're going some right-hand turns tonight at Sonoma. Tonight I'm joined in the booth with Dustin Phillips and Jamie Christensen. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, Mike. Good to be here this week. Good to change it up a little bit for these guys.
Yeah, excited to be here. There's always some road ringers out there, and so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the field does with them.
Yeah, everyone's been on edge all week. Looking forward to see what these guys do here. It's a challenging track. It's probably the most challenging track we've ever done. We've hit the Glen a couple times, but Sonoma's its own beast. Not a lot of lines. It's basically a one-line track, not a lot of passing opportunities. These guys are really going to be racing the track tonight.
Yeah, and just being out there and turning a few laps, we were talking a little bit in the pre-broadcast here, but you really can't get on that throttle like you want to. You got to really know the when to get in and when to get out of it. There's a lot of brake and gas pedal action going on.
Yeah, a lot of horsepower on the rear end here, so you're turning so much and trying to get back into the throttle so quick that the car comes around real easy. So you're really tiptoeing around or on edge, almost on ice all the way around this track. It's really unique. Boys are on the track right now. They're about 2 minutes into qualifying, probably just crossing the start-finish line to take their first lap here. Let's join the action and see what these guys are up to. Definitely have what I would consider some road course drivers. James Skelton, Keith Haney, Calvin Allison. These guys are all pretty talented when it comes to the road course. So I think they're excited to get out there and maybe pick up a win here tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think with the chase closing in and this being kind of a wild card for some of these drivers, one of these guys that maybe haven't been performing like they've wanted to up to this point can really use this as a catalyst to push them towards the chase.
Yeah, for sure, Jamie. I definitely see this being kind of like a wild card race, like you said, and definitely could be a first-time winner. We've seen Calvin and James be very quick here today in practice, so we'll see how they fare here, and it's going to be about qualifying up front, but I think it's going to be about who lasts the longest too, and it's not going to be just one guy turning one fast lap. We've got to do it here for the whole race, so it's going to be exciting to see how these guys handle themselves around each other.
Yeah, I don't think qualifying really, qualifying is important anywhere, but tonight, man, I think you keep your car on the track, you keep it in one piece, you're going to get a top 5 finish here.
Yeah, and which would kind of make me want to start in the front. I'm not really sure I want to come through traffic on this. You talked about it a little bit, Mike, and so did you, Dustin, about there's only a couple different places you can really pass on this track. You hear the NAVSCAR regulars talk about it. There is truly only a couple places to pass on this track, and so if you start in the back, you've got your work cut out for you.
True. I think though, if you start up front and you got a guy behind you that might be just a little bit overconfident or a little bit overzealous, and his braking points are a little bit later than yours, you could find yourself getting run into and spun around pretty easily too. So, I don't think there's a safe place on this track tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, here early in qualifying, we've seen Calvin Allison. He was quickest in practice by about a little over a half second. He's hit the wall already, trying to get a lot out of his stuff here tonight, and we'll have to see if he can make a qualifying lap here. It's going to be kind of interesting to see him start from the back.
Well, Calvin's always fast.
Yeah, for sure, and I think he is normally super consistent too, so if he doesn't get run into it or run into somebody else, I think he's got a good shot at a decent finish here. They got about 4 minutes, 46 seconds left. Let's take a look at the standings from last week here. You can see that John Furshing's still out in front, 219 points. Second place, Trent Potter, 213 points. Nate LaFleur in third, 205. Nelson Rivera, 200, and rounding out the top 5, James Skelton with 183 points. Keep in mind, anybody with that win in that win column there is going to be getting themselves in the chase. We really only have this race and one more race to determine those chase standings. So we're looking for the top 12 drivers. Those, out of those top 12, wins count as well. So right now, 12th is Jeff Bile. We got looks like tied for 10th, Kevin Cochran and Brent Rogers. So those guys are really going to be thinking about points here.
Yeah, for sure. And you definitely got to think about. We've talked about James. He had a really good shot all year, but Martinsville had one slip away from him. So he's been fast here tonight. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see if he can be that different winner for us tonight.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Battle of the Booth standings from last week. Looks like I'm still up on top, boys.
Nothing new.
I try not to think about it.
Right. So, Dustin, buddy, you finished last week, so you're going to pick first, man. Who are you going with tonight?
I'm going to go with James Skelton. I believe he's got a pretty good shot. He's very consistent all year, and I'm looking forward to him hopefully breaking that unlucky streak that he's had of running up front all year, and that win slipping away from him at Martinsville. I think he's due, and be exciting to see him come to the front for sure.
Jamie, you're up next, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 954. The driver over in the HBR garage, Keith Haney. He knows his way around the track. I've raced with him. Dustin and I have both raced with him. I think we've all raced with him, to be quite honest with you. But I think most recently in our Sunday series, I've done a few races with him, and he definitely knows his way around the road courses. He knows what the car is looking for and what it needs depending on the track that he's on. And I think he's going to be one to contend with here this evening.
Those are some great picks. You guys left me a hard choice here. I think I'm going to go with the 905 of Craig Sykes. I was watching him during practice, and he was really consistent, pretty clean, didn't have a lot of incidents during practice. So I'm going to bet on him being there at the end.
Yeah, solid pick.
All right, back to the live here as Calvin goes by, finish his lap. See if that puts him on the pole. Even with the damaged car, he was able to turn a 111.394. That's definitely good enough for that first row right now.
Wow, that was an impressive lap there.
Yeah, he definitely
check. I was just gonna say I had to check my monitor. I was like, wow, that was an impressive lap he just put up.
Yeah, I stand corrected though. That was not his previous lap. That was the lap before. His previous lap was a 112. So he's still running pretty quick. Even though he's got the pole, he's still just turning some laps, sliding that car around a little bit. Maybe he wants to get some seat time just to make sure he's comfortable.
So from last week's broadcast, we had some folks in Twitch calling out the 900 of Brian Wynn. I guess he's a wheelman too to maybe contend with out on the road course.
Yeah, he definitely had a lot of fans last week saying he'd be a challenger this week. So we'll see how he does as he puts two tires in the air on that corner. We're going to see a lot of that tonight. Yeah, I'm excited to see. He's a relative newcomer here with CRC, and he's looking forward to having a good race. Right now he's comfortable in 11th position.
So here's my question to both of you, and we kind of talked about it already, but could you play it real safe, start in the back, and just kind of take your time, drive Miss Daisy, if you will, around here, and just avoid it all? I would pretty much guarantee you're not going to end up in the spot that you started in.
Yeah, I think that would be a great game plan. If you don't think you can start in the first two rows, man, I wouldn't mind starting in the last. We're talking about, watching the pack pull away on the start. Like, I'm not even hitting the gas. I'm letting these guys drive away from me, and then, easing it into it. I think we're going to see some incidents on that first couple corners.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think it makes me a little bit nervous, but you know, I would rather have a car that was working at the end instead of trying to overdrive it and, you know, worry about those other drivers around me. So, but we'll find out how it goes down here as we're getting ready to go uh, green.
So qualifying is complete. That is set the order. We're going to let these guys grid up, and once they get rolling, we'll go ahead and run the field. Got a couple of regular NAVSCAR drivers in the chat. Look like they decided to use their drop race this week. Just decided maybe this wasn't the race for them.
Yeah, Nate LaFleur definitely didn't make the trip out here this week. That team maybe deciding to stay back and work on their car for Rockingham next week.
Yeah, it's a good game plan. He's got to win. He's in the chase. Nothing wrong with that. Sponsors might be a little disappointed he's not getting that track time, though.
Well, he could always join us in the booth if he's got a free moment.
All right, looks like cars are gridding up there on the front stretch.
It'll be interesting too to see how they come through those S turns when we get going, and then you know they got a real challenge after the green flag. If they make it through the S turns, getting around on that sharp right hand turn. I've seen a lot of guys put those right wheels on that curb and just upset the car immensely and wipe out, and that one has the potential of them coming across the field.
Yeah, there's a couple positions there. Actually, just taking the green flag and then turning left, you know, you got walls on both sides of the track. And normally, when you're single file, you're moving from wall to wall to wall, and being double filed, man, it's gonna be pretty easy for these guys just to bounce off of it and possibly take out somebody into the other wall. So it'll be interesting. These guys really got to be patient. We had a pretty long drivers meeting and talked about you know, what the goal should be tonight. These guys really need to be thinking about racing the track and not each other. Yeah, that's really going to be interesting. Really not much more to say. It looks like we're about to finish gridding up here. Cars are going to be rolling. And with that, let's pull up the starting grid. Row number 1, we got Calvin Allison, and on the outside of 1, we got Trent Potter.
In row 2, we've got the 924 of Chris Sharp, and my pick for tonight, the 86 of James Skelton.
Row number 3, we got Keith Haney and William Long.
Row 4, we got Mike's pick, the 905 of Craig Sykes, and the 82 of Mike Abbott.
Row number 5, we got Nelson Rivera and Kevin O'Brien. Kevin O'Brien is really good at road courses as well, so we'll see a good showing from him here tonight.
Looks like row 6 will have the 900 of Brian Wynn and the 9 of Kevin Cochran.
Row number 7, we got Cowboy Brent Rogers, and on the outside we got Butch Frazier.
In row 8, we got the 39 of Jeff File and the 4 of Tricky Ricky Goodman.
Row number 9, Dale Albright, and on the outside we got the 2 car of Joshua Buckley.
In row 10, we've got the 959 of Bruce Potter and the 15 of John Fershing Jr.
And rounding out the field tonight, we got Raymond Edge and Daniel Haney.
Yes, sir. And as we went through the grid there, these guys have already jumped the green here. So we've already got one lap down with Calvin Allison leading the first one.
That was a quick green.
Yeah, that was a F1 start.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Was it really?
You know, and as you guys are talking about that, you know, we got the equipment here in the booth where we can see the whole field and where folks are at. And, you know, they're spread out pretty well. It's good to see. We got some definitely a small pack up front, and then some in the middle, and definitely quite a few in the back, just kind of hanging out, maybe playing that strategy out like we were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, here early we've James Skeleton in the A6. He's dropped back to 8th. I don't know if a lot of those guys were surprised by the F1 style start or not, but definitely some of them switching positions here early.
Yeah, that's really, I guess, my bad. I set up the race, and we don't come to road courses very often, and it looks like we gridded up at the start there.
Yeah, we turn lap 2 here. You know, we've got Calvin Allison. He's really jumped out to a little over a 2-second lead, and just continues to extend it. You know, we're going to see. We didn't talk much to these guys about tire fall off here, but you know, it's already hard to handle these cars when you have good rubber underneath you. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch these guys as these runs get longer and longer, and see who can hold their car underneath them.
I'm actually seeing a lot of damage on that 82. I don't know what you guys think there.
Yeah, he's definitely dropped back to 21st here. He's got into somebody or something. That crew's got a lot of work to do on that car.
Yeah, there's no front end on that car, but good news is you don't really need one at this track.
You know, and Calvin Allison, just looking at the map here, he's just put a massive gap between him and the second place car.
See if we can take a look and try and figure out what happened with Mike here.
Yeah, really not sure about Mike, but as we look, one I want to speak on is Raymond Edge. You know, he started 21st. He couldn't get him a qualifying lap in there, but he was telling the drivers right before they went green that everybody needed to get out of his way. He was coming to the front. And, you know, 3 laps in here, he's already made it up to 14th, and he's looking for 13th here with Butch Frazier.
Yeah, Raymond is definitely another one of those guys that when I think road racing, I think Raymond Edge. He's definitely very talented turning right, as we like to say. So they'll be trying to figure out how to get around these guys, but it's definitely a challenge. Like we talked about earlier, there's really only 2-3 places max that you can put a pass on safely, and he's trying to figure that out right now on the 555, as it looks like the 555 pulls over and lets him by. Even just pulling over to let a guy by on this course is extremely challenging to do.
Yeah,
So
for
did
sure.
I was just curious if either one of you had heard of what the how many laps you can get for a tank here.
I heard, you know, above 13, 14 laps, so I'm not sure if that was the fuel run. I think everybody has a real different racing style, and how hard you're on and off the throttle and how hard you use the brakes, we're going to see a lot of different fuel windows.
You know, it's interesting. We were talking about that 82 of Mike Abbott, and he's gone around Josh Buckley for that position, and now is working on Ricky Goodman for the next position. I'm really surprised. You know, missing pretty much the whole front end of the car, he's still able to make that thing really get around the track.
That's a tough place right there. The 4 goes wide and opens the door, but if you can't really make that pass completely there, and as you see, they were running side by side through those S's, and the 4 just couldn't hold on to it and spun off the track.
Yeah, so Abbott picks up another position up to 15th, so good for him. We're still pushing on with that damaged car.
Yeah, Yeah, guys, just want to note these top three guys, Calvin Allison, Trent Potter, and Chris Sharp, definitely separated himself from what I would call the rest of the field. You know, you got fourth on backs, you know, almost 15 seconds back on the leader. So as we're only turned 5 laps here, these guys are hoping for some kind of issue to come across to where, you know, I don't think we're going to have any full course cautions here tonight, but if we do, there's guys praying for them so they can do something to figure out this 28.
Yeah, I would agree. And, you know, taking a look at that 28, just in front of him is Ricky Goodman, and he's going to be catching Ricky here really quick if Ricky isn't able to get on that gas a little bit faster.
I think that's really going to be an important part of Calvin's game tonight is figuring out how to get around lap cars cleanly. We got 44 laps he's got to turn yet, and he's going to be making some passes on some much slower cars, and figuring out how to do that and being, you know, patient. It's really going to go a long way.
Yeah, you know, we talk about Calvin Allison probably about each and every week he shows up here at NAVSCAR, but you know how good he is here on the ovals. The guy is very, very quick here on road courses, and definitely, guys, I wouldn't be surprised over the next couple of years if this guy don't make a run for iRacing Pro Series. He's done a really good job, and he's pretty fast over all type tracks. So.
Yeah, as we've just seen Ricky Goodman to get into the wall, he's got some pretty significant damage, and you know, our leader goes by him there.
Let's go ahead and ride on board with the 924 of Chris Sharp. Let's take a look at the line he's running here. That 997 right in front of him is 4 positions, so he'll be thinking about how he can make a pass here cleanly. But I think he'd be happy with just keeping close.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was 2 or 3 seconds off second place a few laps ago, so for him to close in within a second, he's definitely catching the 987, so not sure if the 987 missed his marks a couple times or 924 deciding he's going to catch him, so good job by Chris and Trent tonight as they try to find that speed to get the 28 here.
You really hear... Oh, go ahead, Jimmy.
I was going to say, not to keep picking on Goodman, but he is having a heck of a time keeping that car on the track. He's been off the track twice since we said he got passed by Kelvin there.
Yeah, his car's looking pretty beat up. He's lost the hood, but you know, I like his dedication. Rick is always around every week. He's always trying to improve his game, so definitely respect him for coming out here, and he knows that he can turn maybe 2 or 3 laps without an incident, and that's really his goal right now. But being smart, trying to keep out of people's way, and just turning and racing the track, and you know, he'll if he can keep it together, maybe he'll gain a couple positions and end up with the top 15.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell you what, guys, you know, our picks tonight, Jamie, you with Haney again, you know, he's currently running 4th, doing a pretty good job, solid back there in the 4th spot. James Skeleton here running in 5th, and then we got the 905 of Chris Sykes, so we're pretty close here tonight on our picks, and we'll have to see if these guys have to battle each other for this win, if any of those front runners decide they want to blow over Zealous and, you know, maybe run off track.
Yeah, it's easy to do, especially when we get, you know, down to the end of the race. If you've got a car in front of you within 2 seconds and you can see them with 5 laps to go, you're going to start pushing real hard. And I wouldn't put it past any of these guys to lay a bumper on someone if they feel like they're holding them up.
Yeah, and Bruce Potter goes a lap down now as he went off the track and got loose, and now the leader, Calvin Allison's just got by him. But doesn't look like he's got any damage on that 959, but, you know, definitely the car wasn't cooperating with him there.
I tell you what, you know, we sat here and turned 9 laps working in, and Calvin Allison's still putting down some blistering laps. You know, his last lap was a 1:12.591. I mean, those guys not hitting that in their fastest laps during practice. So that car's definitely on a rail here tonight, and those guys have done a good job getting that car ready.
Just noticed the 39 of Jeff File put it in the tires on that hairpin turn. Looks like he's moving again, though.
Yeah, just wrinkled the hood a little bit, got it going, and he's back out there, so.
Chris Sharp is really gaining on second place right now. He just dropped from about a second and a half down to 0.9, 0.8. As you can see here that the 987 of Trent Potter is being held up a little bit by the 39 as the 39 goes off and lets these guys get by. Now these guys are racing.
Yeah, and if I'm Chris Sharp, I'm just going to sit there and try to pressure him, see if he'll slip. You know, I mean, we've seen him catch Trent a couple times here tonight, and Trent's pulled back away from him. So we'll see if this time if he can keep close with Trent, or you know, if Trent takes off on him again.
I guarantee you, Trent's looking in his mirror, and that's all it takes sometimes. It's just that little distraction. You know, guys, half a second, maybe a second behind you. You're watching that relative box. And you lose your rhythm sometimes, and that's enough to be the difference in a pass.
And I love these paint schemes, guys. Haas Automation and the Interstate Batteries car out there, they look good.
Yeah, guys, and speaking of you know, guys making, we talked about last week about Buckley making the manufacturer change. We got the 28 Calvin Allison, our leader, putting him 1 lap down here already early. So. We knew Josh was talking earlier that this is not one of his favorite places, but he's going to hang in here tonight and try to get him a solid finish.
These are the moments that are really going to be tense for the 28. Just starting to get through a pretty decent amount of lap traffic. You know, right now Brent Rogers in front of him on the 8 car is in 14th position, so Brent goes wide and lets Calvin by. But even seeing that, even Calvin got a little squirrely just trying to get by him there. So right now he's racing real well. He put a bunch of cars there a lap down. I think we got 13 cars on the lead lap right now. And he'll be looking for the next one.
Yeah, it was a little tense moment there for the leader there, just as you were speaking on that, as he hit that group of lap traffic. Saw Butch Frazier lose it right there. And that could have been a big issue for the 28 if he couldn't have got through that smoothly. And guys, a new update here. The 924's had some damage. I don't know exactly what happened, but he's dropping back fast, and he's pulled that car to the service of his crew. I don't know if he's had to tow or not, but definitely falling back quick.
Yeah, there was an incident between the 911 and the 26 there, and I think he was just caught in towards the back end of it. So all 3 of those cars, for sure the 26 and the 911 in front of them, both having some pretty serious damage on both of those vehicles.
Just looking back, in 924, just that was his own incident. Just got it a bit loose in the S's there and put it in the tire barrier. And once you get it in the tire barrier, it's hard to get it rolling again.
Yeah, that's a tough break for him. He definitely had a good run going. Yeah, that's definitely going to probably put him down a couple laps, so we're going to have to check back and see if he can recover from this, or it's going to be too much damage here.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm only showing about 11 cars here on the lead lap. Is that what you guys are seeing as well?
Yes, sir. 11 cars on the lead lap. James right now is trying to catch Haney as Haney passes the 555 of Butch Frazier. couple tense moments there for both drivers. But, nice clean passes there. These S's right here that James is driving through, it's, you know, you can put your pedal to the metal and you'll spin it out real easy. It's a balance between, you know, gas, brake, coast. Finding the right line and the right, you know, acceleration pattern there is definitely what's going to make you fast, and it's very hard to do.
I was taking a look at the 9 of Kevin Cochran. He's got a little damage on the back end there, but the car's looking pretty good. That Farmer's Chevrolet.
Yeah, it looks like someone ran into the back of him a little bit there, or maybe he spun it around and put it backed up into a wall, but Brian Wynn just put a lap down right there, having a good race with the top 10 currently, but with Kelvin as he drives by, that puts him a lap down. Kelvin's just schooling the field right now, which is not necessarily unexpected.
Do you think it would be fair to assume that he'll take 4 when he does come in?
Between him and second place, yeah, I think he'll.
Yeah, I saw Calvin definitely making some practice, or during practice he was, you know, testing how fast he could get on and off pit road. So, you know, I think that's going to be another key. If any guys think about they got a chance to catch this 28, they're definitely going to have to try to do it on pit road, or maybe hoping he has a mistake or something, because they're definitely going to have to be on their game getting in and off, and that could be where we see another couple guys have trouble. So when pit stops start rolling around, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, they should be coming up here pretty soon. We're turning lap 15 right now. So I would assume any time now these guys are going to be thinking about coming in. And the pit entry here can be a bit of a challenge. It's really narrow when it's off to the left just before that that hairpin turn coming up right here. So if you're not practiced, like there's no space. If you haven't practiced that entry, it can be pretty difficult.
Well, we are seeing a couple of folks come in and get some tires there. Kevin O'Brien was in there. Looks like he's got the car serviced and back out on the track. I'd have to say it's a good showing by all the drivers this evening, though. You know, good on them for for doing as good as they are. And I know Kevin O'Brien came in and got that quick repair, and he just happened to run right into the side of the wall and just tear up the left side of the car.
Alvin jumps in. He's coming in for his tires, but gotta hand it to all these guys to coming out here tonight. This isn't, like I said, this is a challenging track, and for a bunch of guys that are normally running ovals, this is a big deal. And these guys were all up to the challenge, and everyone here, you know, wants to learn, wants to get better. And yeah, I like the showing. We got 22 drivers that came out tonight, and for Sonoma, man, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, for sure, guys. I mean, I like road courses myself, and I purchased this track earlier in the week just for this race, mainly because I hadn't had even a chance to run it much. So definitely a lot of these guys probably out of their element for the most part, but it throws a little wrench in the season. It's good to see guys come out here and put out the effort and try to learn for sure.
Let's go ahead and run this one with Calvin Allison. We'll see as he does his outlap. Fresh tires here. This car's going to slide around a little bit. These takes about a lap and a half, maybe even 2 laps to put the heat in the tires. And it could be a handful. You'll see this corner right here. A lot of people ask why do the cars jump over that curb and try and get to the other side? It looks really weird. It looks like they're going to run into the wall. Ooh, nice tight corner there as the 8's on the outside, but nice clean pass. But yeah, getting over that curbing and getting hooked up on the asphalt, there's a lot of traction on the other side. So you'll actually see drivers aim to get over it and then accelerate off the corner and then just barely miss that wall. It makes for good TV, but it can be pretty hair-raising. Same with this turn. You'll see the straddle the quarter. You're just turning right blindly almost. It's a really tight turn. You can't see the entrance or the middle of the turn. Got those tire barriers up there, so you're just kind of trying to judge it. And then here, dipping back to the left to the wall, he's off the gas and up this hill. And turning right, blind right corner over this hill. You really can't see where you're going. You just got to know where to get on the gas. You get onto it early, and as you go over the hill, you're coming off into the dirt. Same with this one, almost the exact same corner here, coming up over a hill, blind turn, and then down the hill here.
Just misses the 94 of Kevin O'Brien. And that messes with you a little bit, you know, like you were talking about, Mike. You got those blind corners, and you can't really see what's going on. And your spotter, you know, you may have one, a real one, or you may be using the one that came with the game, and trying to get the best information you can to make a educated decision about how you want to drive the track and where you need to make your turn at. That can definitely throw you off.
Yeah, for sure. The spotter's not, you know, especially if you've loaded some aftermarket spotters. I know a lot of guys run, you know, the Dale Earnhardt pack or the Jimmy Johnson pack. Some of those are typically tailored for oval or and not so much road courses. So if you're not careful, and if you set things up a certain way, they won't be giving you the information you need. And oval courses or road courses are a little bit different because they're going to tell you, instead of outside inside, they're going to tell you left or right, and they're going to tell you a car, you know, slow in front. So spotters are key anywhere, but I think having it set up properly or having a real life spotter here is probably the best place and the most advantage you'll get from it.
Yeah, and with that pass on John Fershing Jr., that only leaves 8 cars on the lead lap.
Being really careful getting by the 4 car there, but Calvin, you know, he's patient. He knows where to pass, and he did a good job there.
Yeah, Jamie, and just update on your driver. He only took 2 tires there on his stop. He's the only driver to take 2, it looks like, under that green flag pit stop, and moved his way up to 3rd here.
Yeah, bold move.
Yeah, I think. I started 5th, and basically has never been lower than that starting position.
Yeah, and the car looks real good. I mean, there's no damage on it whatsoever. He's just taking real good care of that vehicle.
This could be the race, Jay.
It could be. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping he's going to break the streak and get some of these drivers off my back a little bit.
I'm pulling for you too, Jamie.
Thanks, man. Well, I need all the help I can get between you and Mike. I got quite the deficit to work myself out of.
I would say it's just between Mike. You know, he's had the golden horseshoe, and it's going to be up to us to try to take it back from him.
Yeah, I think I've had a little bit of luck going into the first half of this season, and you know, next year we're going to be running a longer season, so I think it'll play out a little bit different next year. But hey, I'm liking being on top for now. Can't complain. Let's take a quick break from the action. We're going to take a look at our schedule. Next week we are going to Rockingham. We're running our second officially sponsored race of the season. We're going to be running the Sim Analyzer or Sim Racing Setup Analyzer 150. We'll talk about more about that product next week, but it's going to be a payout race. There's going to be a prize for the winner, so we're excited to get there. And Rockingham is definitely a challenging track in itself. So last race before the chase, and then we're going to Chicagoland, Daytona, Auto Club, finishing up at Homestead for the year. I'm excited. What do you guys think about the final half of the season?
I'm pretty excited about it. You know, Rockingham next week with setup Analyzer 150. It's going to be exciting. I won't be able to make it. I'll be out of town. So it's going to be exciting to watch from wherever I'm at. But we go into Chicagoland for the chase. That's a fun track. I love that track. So it's going to be fun to see who makes it in. And then as the chase starts there in Chicagoland, it's going to be wide open from there on out.
Yeah, we do have that I guess we call it a wild card race, but Daytona, anything can happen at Daytona in the chase. And as we've seen at Talladega this year, in the real chase, you know, it could be interesting to see what guys do. So I'm excited to get these last 4 races under the belts, and you know, that's going to finish our first full year as NAVSCAR, and I'm getting the renewal notices for the website, so we'll be renewing the website and signing up for another year. I'm excited to get this one in the books, and we got a lot of great drivers that made it through the entire year. We've seen a lot of new drivers this season, and I'm looking forward to keeping them around for next season.
Yeah, for sure. I just, you know, want to give a shout out to you and Jamie and John and the rest of the admins as far as Raymond goes, man. You guys have really stepped it up this year and made this place fun place to be, to race, and to meet, you know, new guys. And it's been really fun being a part of it, and definitely happy to have you guys on board here.
I enjoy it almost as much as I enjoy racing, guys. This is a great experience to see these cars run every week, and I'm super excited to continue improving and driving it and getting it closer and closer to the real thing as we go. So I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys too. Next week at Rockingham should be a blast as well.
You know, I noticed a lot of these drivers.
Jamie cut out there. Did you lose Jamie too?
You there?
Yep.
Oh, you're back now.
Yep, just maybe having some technical difficulties in the booth, but I think what I was trying to point out there before my mic cut out was a lot of these drivers are taking the quick repairs. We've seen a lot of cars with damage fixed, and one of them being Mike Abbott in that 82, is up to that 10th position, is running that Must Vape car. It's a new paint scheme for him this week, so hopefully that'll help him get to a top 10 finish here tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see him recover. You know, he was second last at one point, so good to see him back up. He's in 10th place, and yeah, it's a really nice looking car. He kind of squirrely there in the S's, but he covers it up okay, and just trying to keep his own race going here.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't even get to see what the hood looked like. He had it torn up from the very beginnings.
Yeah, that green car kind of reminds me of Army camo, and with that, you know, I want to wish all my American friends a good Veterans Day, and my Canadian boys Remembrance Day. Shout out to anybody who's served their country. A lot of respect for all that serve. So, thinking about you guys on November 11th here.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. You know, I'm gonna have to say Happy Veterans Day to Dustin there.
Yes, sir.
Hey guys, it's definitely a day to remember. But I tell you what, we definitely think about our brothers as well. That's all for everything for this country and what it stands for. And I just want to give a shout out to one of my close friends that passed away not too long ago in the line of battle, and really thinking of him, Josh. That's all I'm going to say. And he's one of my good friends, and definitely thinking of him this week as we go to bury him up in Arlington. Back to the racing, though. You know, we hadn't talked much about Nelson Riviera tonight, but he's solidly in the top 6 here. He's yet to go a lap down, and definitely I would say a good job by him. Because this 28's on a blistering pace tonight, so anybody being able to stay on the lead lap's done a really good job here.
Yeah, I think Calvin's new goal is to get as many down a lap as he can. As you know, Nelson's 65 seconds behind the leader, and the laps are about 73 seconds. So he's catching them. But again, a lot of respect for all these guys keeping it on the track. They're all doing a great job here, and we got about 25 laps to go. That means we're halfway.
And believe it or not, as 50 laps here, would seem like a very long time. These guys turning, minute 15-second laps or however fast they're turning. It's you think it would be a pretty long race, man. We've clicked some laps off here, and with the no cautions, and it's definitely going to make these a long race for these guys for sure. For a lot of work on the arms and feet, braking back on the gas, turning left, turning right. So it's definitely going to be exhausting after the end. But I'll tell you what, we've clicked some laps off here in just a little bit of time.
You make a good point that these guys are doing a lot of work. There's a lot of turns here, and a lot of clicking of the gear shifter too. And a bunch of these guys run full H pattern shifters, and flipping the throttle, getting into gear, it's a challenge. And if you're making you're making like 10, 15 gear changes per lap. So a lot of respect for these guys. Normally we just throw it into fourth and we're done, but coming here it's a lot different, and it's something to be proud of if you can finish this race tonight.
Yeah, for sure, guys. I'm sorry, Jamie, to cut you off, but taking a look here as we were speaking about other things. The 905, the 954, and James Skeleton definitely had some damage. I don't know if they all got into each other or unscheduled pit stops or what. I saw Keith down pit road, and now he's gone a lap down along with Craig and continues to fall. And James has got some heavy damage, so I don't know what those guys got into, whether it was a lap car or not, but we'll have to go back and take a look.
Yeah, let's see if I can take a look. It's tough to find incidents because the way that it's sorted, it's just it logs off tracks. But there's Craig Sykes who lost it himself, same place into the tire barrier, but did back it up and got it back on the track pretty quickly. So not too bad. He's still running in 5th place, 1 lap down now.
Yeah, and James Skelton just off track again, so he's got some heavy damage on that car, so he's probably going to look to try to either salvage what he's got and then his fuel run, or try to bring that car down and get that thing fixed, because it's he's definitely got no hood, and I got a lot of damage there.
Yeah, you probably do lose a lot of front end downforce when you lose the hood like that, so it could definitely upset the handling of the car.
I wonder who picked the 954.
Give you one guess. I tell you what, though, we hadn't had much luck here so far either. Craig's still doing a great job, but he's had some issues. It's a tough track, guys. So we got to think. We want to talk about Daytona and Talladega being wild cards. This is definitely a wild card for me, I would think. A lot of these guys are really good, but it doesn't matter how good you are somewhere, you got to be there at the end. And this is kind of being a point proven here, as Haney has some trouble here, but hopefully he'll get himself corrected here and get back and pick some of these spots off.
As the 2 car loses it there in the parking lot and collects it okay, he'll be back on track. But Keith Haney's still in the pits. Looks like he's towing, so right now currently in 16th position. Ricky Goodman is going to be putting him a lap down again here with Jeff Weil and Bruce Potter, so hopefully Keith can get it back on track quickly.
Yeah, guys, I was I was thinking, you know, as fast as 28 is tonight, it would be interesting if, you know, a little bit earlier, maybe we could have had a competition caution and got this guy maybe off his, you know, Harry Hyde off his match set, because this guy's flying here tonight. So definitely putting the show on. And Trent's done a great job. You know, he's only 28 seconds back. That seems like a lot, but you know, these guys are really got their work cut out for them. So they're going to even stay on the lead lap with this 28 tonight for sure.
So I just went back and took a look at the replay. It looks like there may have been just something going on with the 954 just by himself. He actually pulled off the track and parked it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not involved with anyone.
Dude, you picked him and his rig broke. Or something.
That is unfortunate.
Something. We'll have to get a drop down. You have to go and do some research. Except he's muted, so tough. We'll talk to him maybe after the race and see what happened. That's unfortunate.
You can't even make that stuff up.
I know, right? He's like, I was racing and the steering wheel just fell off the car. Not a true story. I'm sure it won't be as interesting as that, but hopefully he can get back on the track or get it figured out.
I was gonna say I had nothing to do with that.
Well, you did pick him.
Well, there is that.
Hey, what guys? You know, I mean, we've had a lot of guys move around different positions and stuff. But I tell you what, the guy that started, you know, shotgun on the field here tonight in 21st position, Raymond Edge, has moved his way up into 6th spot. So he's only got one car in front of him, that 905 of Craig Sykes. You know, that is still one lap down. So great job by Raymond. We know he's good here, but it's good to see him, you know, kind of stay out of trouble. And he needs a good race here tonight. So it's good to see him up towards the front.
Yeah, we got the guys race into the hairpin here. Love watching these cars run. You know, when these guys get close together, the road course is super entertaining. And watching them, you know, run the curves and jump that car up in the air, super fun to watch. And you know, once you get the hang of it, super fun to ride as well.
I tell you what, the 86 of James Skelton, his car's tore up pretty good, but he's hanging in there, and he's probably gonna, you know, run this fuel run through, and then probably get that car repaired. And tell you what, he's done a good job staying on the lead lap. Had that first incident, and then a little bit later after the incident, went off track totally backwards and back up onto the track, and was able to stay on the lead lap. So good job by him.
But he does have the leader right behind him, though. Not right behind him, about 3 cars back, but Calvin is definitely closing the gap on him.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And Calvin's going to continue to close. But I tell you, it's been a good job by these guys that have done what they can to stay on with the trouble that some of them have had.
I noticed the 15 doesn't have any damage. He's John Pershing Jr. We haven't talked about him a lot this evening, but he's really been able to keep that car clean tonight as well. So.
Yeah, he started 20th. He's up to 9th. You know, talking to him before the race, he was super frustrated. He was, you know, he couldn't put 2.5 laps together, like consistently. 2.5 laps, I think, was all he could get, and I think he's finally figured it out. He's not the quickest guy on the field, but he's consistent. Oh, took that turn a little wide, but I think he was letting the 28 by, which is probably the right thing to do there. And he's just running his own race, and I said that earlier. You run your own race, you're going to get a respectable finish. And you know, out of 22 cars, man, I'd be happy with a 9th place. So he's still got some guys in front of him he can work up to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely nothing new for John Pershing. I mean, he's here each and every week, and is probably, like I said, one of the cleanest drivers, one of the most respectful drivers here in our field. So it's good to see him having a solid solid ride here tonight in a car and a track that he doesn't like so much. So good job by him, and we'll have to see how this race ends up for him.
Doesn't look like that 954 got the damage, or I'm sorry, the technical difficulties that he had fixed. He's still in the pit, so he's doesn't look like he's going to have a good showing this evening.
Let's stick up some pretty unfortunate man.
As we see 28 of Calvin Allison and the 86 of James Skelton come down pit road at the same time. We'll have to see if James can get that damage fixed and get himself back out there and turn some laps.
James does use that quick repair. They're both up.
That will put James a lap down, so it's going to be interesting to see when these guys cycle back through that Trent Potter may be the only car on the lead lap once these cars cycle through their next pit stop.
16 laps to go. Did anybody catch the actual fuel window? That should be pretty close. Looks like they'll probably be able to go to the end.
I was thinking that some guys could stretch it just a little further than others, so it's going to be close for them if that's not the window or not.
And notice the 555 of Butch Frazier, he kind of went around. He's got a little bit of damage on the hood, not much, but he's back out on the track, and looks like he's got the leader right behind him.
You know, just looking over the Twitch chat, our own Nate LaFleur taking a hit on Calvin. He was telling him before the race that in his interview that he should tell him that he gym handed all night to give these guys a chance, but they still couldn't catch him. So.
Looked like James Skelton took a quick repair there. He's got the car all repaired. Looks good.
So don't look now, guys, but yeah, the 905 Craig Sykes currently in third place. Don't know if he's been in yet.
Nope, he's only made one stop. Him and Nelson both, and Chris Sharp and Kevin Cochran haven't made their second stop yet. Neither has John Pershing. So it's going to be interesting to see how these things cycle through once these guys have to come into pit.
You think that damage on the 905 of Craig Sykes is causing him any issue there? He's just got a little wrinkle on that right front quarter panel.
Yeah, he does.
Guys, I think we have some technical difficulties with Mike there. We'll see if we can get him back. But, yeah, these guys definitely, as these pit stops are going to cycle through, the 905 of Craig Sykes has done a really good job here tonight, as well as Nelson. These guys still got a pit, it looks like. We'll see them.
Craig comes in right now, looks like. You got me there okay, Dustin?
Yep, got a copy on you.
Yeah, Craig Sykes is coming in. He's going to get probably see that car bounce back, use that quick repair, and interesting to see where he comes out.
Looks like Jeff Fowle pulled that J Fowle racing car back to the garage, and looks like he may be done for this evening.
As the leader and James Skelton just went by the start-finish line, so that's going to drop the 905 down a couple positions. That was a real lengthy stop there for the 905, 19 seconds. Possibly, yeah, he didn't use a quick repair, so maybe he's already used it and he let them do a little bit of work on the car there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think it's really affected that car too much. He might have knocked the toe out a little bit, and them guys had to take a little bit extra time to check it. But, you know, Craig's done a good job here tonight, and I'm sure he can definitely make it from here on this fuel. So it's going to be exciting to see if those other guys that stopped, their fuel window is going to allow them to stay out and make it the whole way, or if they have to make one more stop.
I'm pretty sure Calvin would have done a little bit of math. He's really good on fuel strategy. I think he's good to go. And nobody else has to run as far as Calvin, so I think everybody else will be good to go too.
Yeah. Take the floor in the booth, man. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just sitting here watching the broadcast.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a donation fund going for it. We gotta get you this track for next season. Want to see you out there.
Oh, I could have bought it. I just chose not to. I didn't think I was going to use it ever again.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I heard you were just, you and the boys were getting the car ready next week for the Race Analyzer 150 at Rockingham, getting a little extra time in the shop, getting that car ready.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Rockingham's a pretty fun track. I like racing there. Hopefully we can have a good showing there.
Couple more cars on pit road. Looks like everyone's doing their last stops. Right now, Allison still out front. Trent Potter's about 50 seconds behind. Right now, fighting to finish the race on the lead lap. James Skelton is in third. Nelson Revere fourth, and Craig Sykes rounding out the top five. Once again, got to keep saying it, man. I'm really proud of seeing all these guys run pretty cleanly. Mind you, we haven't looked at every incident. No cautions. It doesn't really give us an opportunity to see everything that happens on the track, but everything that I have seen has been great, super respectful, guys letting guys by, and really proud to see these guys run these laps right now.
So we haven't talked about him a lot, but let's take a look at Josh Buckley. You know, that car, another car that doesn't look like it's got a lot of damage on it. Looks like he's just been out there putting laps down. So looks like he wanted to make sure that he found himself at least with the top 10. He's a little bit outside of it, currently in 12th position, but looks like he's kept that car pretty clean this evening.
Yeah, right now running on the back of the 8 car for Brent Rogers, 4 positions. So these guys are running pretty hard here. I know Josh would be trying to get by, and Brent's not the guy that's going to move over to give that position up. So I'll see. This is probably the closest race we got going on the track right now.
Yeah, just to speak up on Brent's behalf, this past Monday, he raced Silver Crown over at All-Pro Dan's Top Notch, another league that he frequents a lot. And I tell you what, he did a good job over there with some fuel strategy and ended up picking up his win this week. So good job by him. Shout out to him this week as he brings it down pit road for his second stop tonight.
Nice. Like hearing about NAVSCAR drivers picking up wins. So congratulations, Brent. So right now, Josh is currently 11th. That's the highest he's been all night. Started 18th. Did fall back a couple positions early on, but right now I think he's going to be trying to catch John. I think he's 12 seconds back, so if he can get that top 10 finish, he'll be really happy with that.
You know, I would know we were just talking about Raymond Edge. Raymond Edge actually just went off the track there. He's back on it again, but no damage. Not that I can tell, but he's definitely had a little issue there, but hopefully he's got it collected and be able to finish this race out. So.
Yeah, I've got 9 laps to go. These guys are thinking about the home stretch right now. There could be a little bit of fuel conserving going on, but I don't think so. I think everyone being a lap down, I'm pretty sure that these guys are pretty much good to go.
I can tell you one guy that's not saving. That's the 28 of Calvin Allison. He is his last lap was a 1:13.823, and you got to remember these guys been on these tires for just a little bit. He's still pushing pretty hard. So.
Looks like Calvin's coming up on some slower traffic with that 555 of Butch, the Butcher Frazier, just in front of him.
I was going to say, guys, took a look at 924 Chris Sharp, and I don't know if he was, guys were taking an extra look at that car or not, but he had a little lengthy 21.5 second pit stop there. Didn't know if he was disconnected or not. Sat there and was watching him in a few minutes, and he was just sitting there. So those guys got that car fixed, and he's back out on the track.
Old Butch is finally lets him by, but he's giving him a little run for his money there, as Butch is now off the track.
I tell you, that GoPro machine looks good out there tonight for sure. Not the speed that he wanted, but you know he's sitting in 15th right now, and I know probably not where he wanted, but he's done a pretty good job being respectful here tonight. Definitely not one of his fun place to be for him, but he definitely comes out every week and puts in the hard work and does a good job.
Yeah, it may have just been one of those things, you know, where you're just trying to keep your position, and kind of like what you and Mike talked about earlier in the broadcast, is you stop racing the track, you start racing the guy around you, and the next thing you know, you're over driving that car a little bit.
Taking a back look at second place, Trent Potter. He's sitting right now at 52 seconds. That gives him about a 23-second gap or so to Calvin. 7 laps to go. So, you know, Calvin's really pushing. Wants to kind of, you know, be able to say he put the entire field a lap down, but I think Trent's going to give him a run for his money here.
Yeah, and as you say that, we almost see Trent get loose there, getting around that car, coming out of that corner, so...
With 7 laps to go, let's do a quick shout out to the leagues. Just a reminder, if you're liking what you see, you want to join us at NAVSCAR, you can check our website out, www.navscar.com. We run Wednesday nights, typically oval nights, oval tracks. Bunch of fun-loving guys just looking to have some fun. Everyone raced pretty clean. A little bit different than your regular iRacing series. We do take things a little bit more serious than your average racer. Obviously, you know, tonight's being a road course, it's a little bit different for all these guys. They're just trying to learn and get better at something that they're not used to. But oval courses, we do have a lot of fun, and we do expect a lot from our drivers. So we are still recruiting. Next week, I think we're going to be the last chance to get in before the chase. Once the chase starts, we will stop recruitment until next season, which will start next year. So check us out, www.navscar.com. Monday nights, our sister league runs. Those guys are www.redlightleague.com. They run about the same style. They have a bunch of our guys race over there, a bunch of their guys race over here, and they have a lot of fun there as well. So check them both out. 5 laps to go as Calvin climbs the hill.
Was just checking on the 72 there. Looked like he's found some more trouble, as he's got a little bit more damage there on the left front quarter panel. Not sure what he ran into, but it's definitely pushed that hood up a little bit.
Checking back on the 02 car, Joshua Buckley in 11th place. 10th place, just in front of him, Mike Abbott. This is probably, once again, the closest battle on the track. They got about a second and a half, second point two between the two cars. Josh is going to do everything he can here to get that top 10.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know, I noticed the 82 doesn't have a hood anymore, and I'm not really sure when that occurred, so Josh probably has a pretty good chance of trying to catch that 82, but we know the 82 and the 2 have found each other a time or two on the track in some of our previous races, so we'll see how it goes if the 2 happens to make his way up to the bumper there. And Josh is really starting to close that gap now.
Yeah, it won't be long. He'll be thinking about making this pass next couple turns here. We'll see how Mike handles the situation being in a handicapped car. I'm sure he'll move over, let them by.
Yeah, that should be coming up here just as they come through the S's and go to that turn. Mike can go wide and give him that position as Buckley is right on the bumper.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of those passing areas. Here wouldn't be too bad. 82 is definitely not giving him a lot of love here.
No, didn't take it wide. Through the gears. 2 on the outside of the 82. Not a lot of room here, guys. 2 gets loose, has to collect the car, and falls back in line. Oh, and the 2 loses it.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of pressure there, trying to get by him. Does lose it, but keeps it on the track. No real damage there.
Yeah, the car just got loose. I think he just got a little bit too much in the gas, and the back end came around. You can definitely tell he wants that position. You know, in doing that, he's now got about a couple car lengths, but he's already caught back up to him, and he's only going to have a few more opportunities to get around here with 2 to go.
Yeah, Calvin's going to be taking that white flag pretty soon here, so he's got to make it happen. '82's definitely taking a conservative slow line, but not giving up the racing line here.
Yeah, I would agree, and you know, you've got to be thinking, you know, how do you stay out in front of them? There's only a couple laps left.
Oh, as they're wreck in front of him, this could be, ooh.
That was close.
Real close there. Both cars get through pretty cleanly there. 82 is trying to keep that top 10 position. He's going to fight real hard. He's definitely not going to let the 2 by. We could see that that temper go on the 2. He could lay a bumper on him, but he hasn't been close enough to really do that yet.
Yeah, I think we're going to see the 2 try to outbrake him here in one of these corners.
He definitely drives that corner a little bit higher, puts it in the dirt a little bit, trying to get as close as he can to possibly get him under braking here, but the 82 definitely has that entry a little bit better. This will be the white flag right here. Checking on Calvin, still out ahead, no traffic there. Let's jump back and take a look at the 2 car. Right on the bumper, doing everything he can right now.
You know, and if you're the 82, you just really have to take the line away. And the only way he's going to get by you is if he does use that bumper. So let's see if he's going to do it.
Taking that wide corner, trying to get a run up here. This is where the 2's got to get, maintain that speed, stay right on his bumper so he can set up that braking corner, but looks like he dropped back a little bit. Oh, and he lost it.
And he gets...
Hopefully keep it on the track and keep that 11th place. Looks like he does.
Yeah, and we talked about it. It's like you start driving against the driver in front of you or driver around you and stop driving the track. It becomes a whole different ball game.
Calvin leads flag to flag.
It's going to be a big points day for him.
For sure, he was looking for that.
How about a shout out for Trent Potter, only guy to stay on the lead lap all night.
Can't go. He's got to be happy with that as well. Calvin has been good all practice. He's spent some time on this track, so I'm not really surprised by it. Well, let's go ahead and get him in here for his post-race interview. Leads flag to flag, Calvin, buddy. It was a clinic there, man. Tell us about your race.
It was smooth as silk, just the way I like it.
Yeah, you were saying before that you didn't think you were going to make the end of this race, worried about timing, but looks like you got it done.
Yeah, I had to stick around for this one. It's one of the ones I had circled on my calendar for this year, and me and all the hooligan boys put in a lot of work this week testing, so I figured I might as well stick it out to the end.
Well, now that
good job.
I was going to say, now that you showed us... Go ahead, Dustin.
One at a time, please. One at a time.
I know, man. Come on. And anyway, Calvin, man, good job tonight. We're only allowed to choose a driver 3 times a year, and I was going to use you up tonight, and saw you early in qualifying have a little issue, but with a damaged car. But I tell you what, man, sit there and still put it on the pole with a damaged car. Good job, and definitely led flag to flag tonight. So your thoughts going into next week at Rockingham, man? You going to be there, or are you going to show up, and what do you think about your chances there?
Yeah, I'll be there for Rockingham. I'm looking forward to that since they don't have it on the schedule anymore, and we'll just take it one day at a time and see what kind of setup we can get figured out for it, see if we can put another hurting on them like we did tonight.
Was there anything you brought to the race, strategy-wise, that you think really helped you with this, other than just racing the track, keeping it clean, and hitting your marks?
Well, I mean, I tried to help everybody that asked me the other night in our session, especially like John and James and all them, and I told them just to go watch footage of in-car cameras is a real thing. And you learn the line, you see where to shift, all your braking points. And I know James told me today it really helped him, and I can't believe John squeaked around and got a top 10, and even though they're not teammates of mine, proud of how they took my suggestions and ran with it, and ended up getting good finishes for both of them.
Well, congratulations, man. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Trent, only car finishing on the lead lap. You got to be kind of happy with that. I know Calvin really kind of dominated the field tonight, but tell us about your race.
Yeah, I just barely did finish on the lead lap, and probably wouldn't have been so bad. It was a pretty good race. I had a couple tight spots I got in, and I actually spun it through the S's one time, and luckily I was further ahead from everybody else, and it didn't really cost me anything.
What do you think the most challenging thing was about tonight's race?
Well, I think it's just trying to run consistent laps over and over. I mean, I could run a fast lap, but I couldn't maintain that over a period of time, and I just wanted to keep it on the track and try not to run it off and then end the day.
How was the traffic out there this evening? You know, I mean, we've seen the field spread out quite a ways. You know, the start of the race was actually pretty interesting, with everybody just trying to go there at the beginning. It seemed a little bit of a calamity corner going through the S's and literally in the corner. So, traffic play a factor for you this evening?
No, it didn't really play too much factor for me. I know me and Chris, we ran just kind of taking it easy there at the start, and I think he had an incident. He got, I think he spun coming off the S's, and for the most part though, everybody was pretty giving and giving each other plenty of room. So.
Yeah, good to hear. I know you were running the what was it, the Interstate Batteries paint scheme this evening?
Yeah, that's I like. I think it's a 90. I think it's from the '92 season. I think Dale Jarrett ran it when he ran for Joe Gibbs, and I've always liked it.
Yeah, it was a sharp-looking car. We've seen a lot of guys out there with some different paint schemes this evening. But, you know, Dustin, you got anything for our second-place finisher?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you on staying on the lead lap, man. You were fast, and Calvin just put down a blistering pace. We didn't talk about you as much, but you definitely had a lot of speed here tonight, so good job. But going into next week at Rockingham, you know, Rockingham's one of these places that is old, wore-out asphalt. How do you feel next week getting a chance to slide it around down at Rockingham?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about Rockingham. I've never even been in a race there. I've practiced there a couple times, and I know it's a real hard, challenging track, and it's pretty known for eating the tires up.
Well, man, congratulations again on second place, and we'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate it. See you guys.
Consistency gets you third place, buddy. James Skelton, congratulations on third. Tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take third. That was my best finish of the season, but it was not consistent. Spun out twice, and then I was lagging like crazy, and I was trying to refresh and trying to do some different things, so, I mean, I'll take it.
Is there anything that you would point to as being, you know, the biggest challenge for this track?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge is you think the car's under you, and then all of a sudden it just kicks out on you, and you try to correct, but there's no way you can correct it out there.
Actually, just a question for my curiosity. Are you running a H-pattern shifter into this track, or are you running paddles?
I was running the paddles, and then this is probably my first road course ever using my clutch on my wheel, so that was definitely a challenge, hitting that every time.
Yeah, did you find this more tiring than a normal race?
Yeah, without a doubt. Very, very stressful out there.
Well, James, good job. This is Dustin here in the booth, man. You were my pick tonight, man. You definitely, I knew you had speed and you looked good all week, man. Good job getting through some adversity there. I saw you at one time backwards on the track and still recovered to have a good finish here, so good job. But going into next week at Rockingham, man, how do you feel your chances are there, man? I'm really excited to get you a win here before the chase starts. You've definitely had some close finishes and deserving wins here, but just come up short, and I'm really looking forward to hoping to see you get in victory lane before we get there. I think Rockingham's a place you can do that.
Yeah, I've never ran it in the A car, the trucks, or the B car, but I've done it in the street stock, and I mean, I know it's completely different, but I mean, I really, really like the track, so I'm definitely looking forward to next week and put a lot of practice in with the A car and get a good setup in there and see what happens.
Jamie, you got anything to add tonight?
No, not really. I just wanted to know real quick, I guess, if you mind me picking you for next week at Rockingham.
Yeah, go for it. Maybe I can break the jinx there.
Hey, I'm looking for all the help I can get. So if you can make it happen, I know, we raced together over in the red light series, and I know you got speed. So if you can get it done, maybe I'll go with you next week.
Yeah, I'll definitely double up on my practice then. But yeah, I'll go for it.
For some reason, I think he's joking.
Yeah, right? Congratulations again on third place, and we'll see you next week, man.
All right, thanks again, guys.
One more to go, man, before we get to the chase. Let's take a look one last time at the schedule. So next week we will be doing the Sim Racing Setup Analyzer 150, then Chicagoland, Daytona Auto Club, and then rounding out the season at Homestead. Looking forward to that. Just a reminder for anybody who's interested, if you want to race with us Sunday nights, we do run an open setup series. We are going to Daytona this Sunday. You can find it 8 o'clock under the hosted section of iRacing. The password is touring. Anybody can join. There are a few iRacing license requirements and minimum standards that you do have to meet. But other than that, we do invite everybody to come tune with us. It is an open setup, so you can wrench on that car. And Silver Crown's always fun, so we hope to see some people there. Yeah, great race, was a uneventful race for the most part. Doesn't make for great TV always, but we enjoyed it. We think road courses are part of the series, so we run in 2 of them next year, and looking forward to getting these guys back out there. But next week we'll be turning left like regular, and should be a lot of fun. You guys got anything to add tonight?
No, not really. Just looking forward to going to Rockingham. Like Dustin said, I think it's a good track. A lot of guys like that one who were disappointed, like Kelvin said, when they took it off the regular series. But we got it in ours, so that's all that matters. So just looking forward to next week.
Yeah, for me, we've got last race before the chase, man. And I tell you what, there's guys definitely looking to get in. You got Brian Wynn and Raymond Edge just sitting on the outside of the top 12 here, either looking to pick up that win next week or definitely get in front of a couple of their guys out here in front of them. So it's going to be a battle to see who gets in next week, and it's going to be kind of exciting.
I agree, man. I'm definitely looking forward to it. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week at Rockingham. Have a good night, everybody.